Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramakrishnaya. Dear devotees, I am very happy to be with all of you this evening, to meet you again. Some of you here and many of them or many of you online. Just a week back we had Diwali celebrations. So my belated Diwali greetings to all of you. All over the world, wherever Hindus are there, Diwali is celebrated. You find different stories, different traditions are there if you go to different parts of India. I was very curious to know why so many types of differences in the stories behind Diwali. Then I found, yes, different places have got a particular type of climate, weather, and the language, and the cultural patterns. All these things contribute to the creation of certain your legacy from the past. So I found very beautifully so many types of legacies have come to us. Though now we have become all India or pan-Indian, but rather we have become now all world mover. So Indians are there in every country. So we are becoming more international. But still, we have got this idea that how in certain places Diwali is celebrated. Because in northern India, largely, I should say, Diwali is celebrated as a mark of Sri Ram's return to Ayodhya. That's a very wonderful concept. After 14 years of staying in the forest, Bhagavan Sri Ram with Mother Sita and Hanuman, Lakshmana and others returned. So that day everybody put on the deepa. So the lamps were lighted and they were all kept in a row. This row business we find everywhere. That's why it is called Avali, Deepa Avali. So it's called Deepavali. So in Deepavali we find a row of, Avali means a row of, so the row of lights, lamps were kept. And then in western parts of India, largely I should say, that Diwali is celebrated as a puja, as a worship of Mother Lakshmi and Ganesha. And the new account is started by the businessman on that day. And you come to the southern parts of India, here Diwali is one night earlier as a mark of Narakasura Vada, Narakasura's death. He was killed by Lord Krishna. So there Sri Ram and here Sri Krishna. And what was more intriguing for me was in the eastern parts of India, where no connection to any of these, but independently a separate culture has grown up. And that is the worship of Mother Kali. So Kali worship, when I first saw, I was really thrilled. Oh, this is a type of worship which we don't find in other parts of India in the normal way. You see, Mother Kali is a household deity in Bengal and Orissa. If you go to Bengal and see any house, you go there, you will find a Mother Kali's picture will be there. She is a household devotee, a deity everywhere. So even in a poorest of the poor hut or the richest of the rich bungalow, you will find Mother Kali's photo. But that type of Mother Kali's worship is not predominant in other parts of India. And certain places, they even fear to worship Mother Kali, associating Mother Kali with black magic, And they say, oh, Mother Kali worship, we should not attend, we should not go. Like that they fear. But these fears, these anxieties, this type of misinformation, has gathered in some places. But when you go to Bengal, all these things are broken down. No such fear comes, no such anxiety. Everybody in a joyous mood celebrate Mother Kali's worship. And she is depicted as the most benign deity. A very deity who gives ashirvad, who gives blessings to you. That type of deity. And from child to the elderly person, they go and make pranam and they worship Mother Kali. So this Kali worship has taken such a grand turn where Sri Ramakrishna was born. He made it more popular. As you all know, who have read the life of Sri Ramakrishna, he was born in a Vaishnavite family, mind you. His father and mother were all great devotees of Sri Ram. But then he took up a simple job of a priest in the temple of Dakshineswara. And there the presiding deity was Mother Kali. So he started worshipping Mother Kali. It was not his family tradition, mind you. But his Ishtadevi, Ishtadevata became Mother Kali. And this Kali worship made him completely purify the tantric worship of Kali. That is the one of the contributions of Sri Ramakrishna to Indian religion and culture. The worship that was derided by others, the worship that was feared by others, have become a normal routine worship like any other deity, any other benign deity that you worship. So that was the great contribution of Sri Ramakrishna to convert this Mother Kali worship as the most wanted worship. So the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, you find in their homes also, they keep the picture of Mother Kali. No more fear for her. She is our mother, loving mother to all of us. So such a wonderful deity worship was being done. And I have heard some of the most wonderful Bengali bhajans on Mother Kali. Bhajans written down by great poets. They were all devotees of Mother Kali, like Ram Prasad, like Kamala Kanta. These devotees were not very far off in the time scale. They were just 200, 300 years before, that's all. And they have written so wonderful songs on Mother Kali. When you hear those songs, you feel a scintillating experience you get. What a wonderful ideas they have got. One poet says, "Oh Mother Kali, people call you black, dark, but I don't believe that you are dark. Because you are the light source to all the lights." He says to that, Mother Kali. So a lot of poems are there like that. So how Mother Kali is standing with one of her legs put on the chest of Lord Shiva, and how that he makes fun of Mother Kali. You are such a wonderful girl and you have put your foot on Lord Shiva. So she is not an ordinary girl, mind you. He says to others, don't think this girl is an ordinary girl. The same Lord Shiva who took the hala poison and saved the entire universe, he is now under her feet. See, don't think she is an ordinary girl. Like that, he makes teasing of Mother Kali. Such wonderful poems, or songs about Mother Kali we hear in Bengali. So the Kali itself, the term itself comes very, very important for us, because originally the term comes from, it is the Strilinga of a particular term in Sanskrit. It's called Kala. So Kala is a Pullinga Shabda and Kali is a Strilinga Shabda. Because it is mother, so we call Kali. And for Shiva we call Kala, Mahakal we say. Kala Purush we say. So these things are adjectives for Shiva. So Shiva is called Kala and she is called Kali. It's not merely she looks black, that's why she is called Kali. That Kala has got another meaning, dark. That also is there, another meaning. But then she is depicted in the darkest form. That is also true. We all see the pictures of Mother Kali. You don't see like a fair colored Lakshmi like Mother Kali's picture. She is all black. So that type of depiction is everywhere available. So Mother Kali, that name indicates that she is time and she is also black. Black means darkness. This darkness, from the time immemorial, I should say, from the Vedas came up, you find is associated with not goodness. The darkness always signifies some type of evil, some type of negative qualities, some type of desolation, some type of disappointments. These are all called this associated with darkness. Not only in our religion, in Christianity also. I had some discussion with one of the bishops in Ireland when I was there. So I used to talk to him, and during discussion he told many things about how the darkness is associated even in the Christian tradition. Let there be light. And then it was lighted up. So it starts with that, like that. In Bible it starts like that. So let there be light means what? There was darkness earlier. There was everywhere darkness. So this darkness, in every religion you find, this darkness is associated with the negative things. In Hinduism also, darkness is associated with fear, with anxiety, with your going down in your mental strength. All these are considered as a dark negative qualities. So what is signified by the light then? The light signifies brightness and the good qualities, the noble qualities. They are all called very associated with the brightness. So this distinction goes on like that everywhere. And in our literature, in Vedanta literature, you find this darkness is equated with ajnana. Ajnana is considered as dark. Avidya is considered as dark. So what is vidya? Vidya is knowledge or wisdom. And avidya, means just opposite. Avidya. Sahaya, you say help. If you say asahaya, if you add it becomes different, opposite meaning, helpless. Like that, if you add before the word in Sanskrit, it gives a opposite meaning. So jnana also is knowledge. And opposite to that is ignorance. In English we call it ignorance or not knowledge. How do you spell it? You said ajnana. You add a. So it becomes ajnana means not knowledge. That means ignorance. In English we have this word ignorance, which is called avidya. So this ajnana and avidya, they are all done in Vedanta because we are all students of Vedanta and we come to Ramakrishna and Mother and Swamiji. They all propagated Vedanta all over the world. So this Vedanta is our life philosophy. Whatever may be your practical, say, your way of worship, your method of worship, but you are all, by philosophy, you are all Vedantin. So we call it, we are all Vedantin. So we are called Vedantin monk. So this Vedanta, it defines also what is avidya. It says anitya, asukha, and anatmasu. So he says that anitya, which is not eternal. Here also you see is added. Nitya means eternal. Anitya means non-eternal. That is transient. Anitya. In that anitya, you see nitya. This is called avidya. what is sukha and what is dukkha. In that dukkha, that suffering, you see sukha. Then if you see sukha in suffering, in dukkha, it is called avidya. Like that it gives 1 or 4 expressions. And finally it says that anatma, which is not atman, which is not eternal, which is not spirit. In that you think this is the spirit, then that is avidya. So avidya's definition is given, and it is associated with the darkness. So the play of shadow or the darkness and the light is always continuing in our life. Mother Kali stands for that purpose. She says this avidya and vidya both are together present in our life. Where there is light, there is darkness. Sri Ramakrishna says, where there is darkness, there is light. You cannot think of light without having a concept already of darkness. In the same way, you cannot think of darkness without having a concept of light. These two are contradictory though. In the modern science, of course, this darkness is considered as non-light. That means where the light is not present, it is darkness. In some physics, they say further, they go further one step above. They say it is not like not present. The light is not present, there it is darkness. They say light waves are coming in a different strength. Our eyes, human eyes, can perceive a particular type of wavelength of the light. It cannot perceive very high wavelength light comes, we cannot perceive. Like the sound also. Sound also we cannot hear such a high sound. Like that lowest of the sound you cannot hear. Likewise, the lowest wavelength of the light you cannot see. So suddenly you put off all the lights here. It is become darkness. And this darkness is what? The light's wavelength has gone down so low. That's why you are unable to see with your naked eyes. But there are animals like cats and tigers. Their eyes get more dilated when the darkness comes, and they can see much more wavelength of the light, much more subtle wavelength of the light. So they can see in the light, they can walk, they can run, they can do everything. We also, in a complete dark room, if you stay for 10 minutes, your eyes get naturalized in that atmosphere. And then you are able to see in a very lightly, very dim way you can see. So the darkness is said to be a non-existent item. So where is darkness, if you say? Where there is no light. Light is there, but darkness is not there. So this avidya and ignorance, so Vedanta says, is not there at all. It appears to be there. Where it is appears to be there? Where knowledge has not dawned. I will take you to the second meeting of Master Mahashaya, Sri M, with Sri Ramakrishna, as depicted in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. You will be surprised. First time he goes, M goes to Sri Ramakrishna. He actually decided to kill himself, to commit suicide. So he went to Sri Ramakrishna. Not for that he went to Sri Ramakrishna. He was moving and his friend came. Hey, come with me. I will take you to Dakshineswar. And he took him to Dakshineswar. The first meeting, he saw Sri Ramakrishna sitting on his chair, on his cot, and then he's talking to the devotees. He imagined, is it Sri Chaitanya Deva who has come here and speaking? So wonderful words he heard. When he came back to his home, all thought of suicide had gone. Because Sri Ramakrishna has filled his mind. And he thinks, why he is filling my mind? I must go second time. So second time he comes to Sri Ramakrishna. At that time Sri Ramakrishna was being shaved by a barber. Barber has come and he was shaving him. So he has put on a chadar and he is shaving him. Master's body was full of sattva. Sattva guna body. Very rarely you hear about Sattva-guna bodies. In Sattva-guna, you can't even touch little horse. So the barber is very careful in trimming his hair. So he never made him like this, like completely mundar. He never made. He used to keep certain hair, length of hair, and he would trim it. And that Sri Ramakrishna was sitting there, and he asked him, "Oh, you have come." Yes, because he's seen earlier. "So where do you stay?" he asked. He said, "I live in Calcutta." "Okay. Here, where are you staying?" That means in the Chilean side. He said, "No, I have come to my relation's house, Ishan. Ishan's house, I'm staying there. His brother-in-law." So he said, "Oh, Ishan. Oh, I know Ishan," Sri Ramakrishna said. "Okay, then you are standing there still." Then he asked about his life, whether he is married, whether he has children, all those things. There is funny reportage is there in the gospel. When you read the second visit, you will simply laugh. How wonderfully Yam has described the Sri Ramakrishna's, teasing him. "Oh, you got married?" Then he says, "Have you children?" He said, "Yes." "Oh, you got children also?" Like the Sri Ramakrishna got surprised. In the surprising way he's putting, so Yam feels, "Oh, what is this? Is marriage a sin? Why he's telling like that?" Like that's all funny things, incidences there. Then Sri Ramakrishna asked, "You see, when I see a person, by seeing his forehead, nose, eyes, I know what type of that person is. So I have come to know you have got good signs." Like that he is praising Master Mahashaya. "So you have got good signs. So how is your wife?" he asked, because he has not seen his wife, you see. So he says, "How is your wife?" He says, "She's okay, but she's ignorant." Like that Master says. Then Sri Ramakrishna becomes upset. He got irritated by this answer. He said, "Oh, you seem to be very wise. You are a man of knowledge." He makes teasing to him. Then Yam says, "For the first time, I understood the difference between ignorance and knowledge. So long I was thinking, if you are not well versed in the Laukika subjects, in the worldly subjects, so you are not a man of knowledge." Like that I was thinking. But today I understood that God realization is knowledge. Knowing God is knowledge. And not knowing God is ignorance. So what is ajnana? What is avidya? Not knowing God. That's what Vedanta also says. Anatma, anatmasu, atma khyatihi avidya. Anatmasu, whatever is not spirit, in that you make it superimposition. So our Vedanta gives a lot of examples. How that serpent example everybody knows. I don't want to repeat it. Several times you might have heard that. So like that, several examples are there. So Vedanta gives that, anatmasu. So this darkness or this one, I was talking to you about Mother Kali, how Sri Ramakrishna brought a rejuvenation in the worship of Mother Kali, who has darkness and the knowledge together. Because light and darkness cannot be separated. Darkness as an article, as an object, is no more, is not there. Wherever the light is not there, darkness comes. That is taken for granted. If that is so, the knowledge must be there. If knowledge does not come to us, we are still ignorant. Not because I don't know mathematics, I am ignorant. Not because I do not know history, I am ignorant. Those are all called aparavidya. In our tradition, two types of vidyas are spoken. One is paravidya, another is aparavidya. Paravidya is the knowledge about the supreme. Para means supreme, beyond, transcendent. That supreme knowledge is paravidya. And that is God's knowledge. And other vidyas are all aparavidyas, not supreme knowledge. Whatever secular knowledge you take it up, you read it and you study, you become expert in that, everything is welcome. That's why we don't reject secular knowledge. Any type of knowledge is welcome. Putting a fuse to a bulb, yes, it's welcome. If you know that, it's very good. So in our brahmacharis, in our order, we teach them every type of work. If you can see our Swamis, in Kanchipuram if you go, one of our Swamis is looking after the dairy farm. He even milks the cow. He knows what the cow needs, how to take care of it. Like that, office work, that is done. Latest computers, our Swamis can operate. Like that, all types of work. Bhandar. This brahmachari sitting here, you see how he works in several departments. He cleans the temple also. Slowly he is learning puja. So one day he will sit there and do puja. He will become an expert in puja. And the same way he is serving the kitchen. So he will know what is to be done in the kitchen, to how many types, how many much quantity must be used for how much of people, etc., etc. And he knows how to welcome the guest also. Of course, he washes my clothes also. So I'm thankful to him. So he does all types of work here to know. So these are all called not Paravidya, Aparavidya. Through the Aparavidya, you can reach Paravidya. So there is processes, there is spiritual life. So this, what I was telling you is, this Aparavidya, this Avidya, or it is called in Vedanta, is not enough. If you are well versed in all these subjects also, you become the best, like equivalent to Wikipedia knowledge you have, still you have got something less, because you have not known the Supreme. A Pandit comes to Sri Ramakrishna, and the Pandit is, whenever Pandits go to Sri Ramakrishna, you find him, the Sri Ramakrishna is very happy to converse with him. He would say what the Shastra says about this, what the Shastra say about that, like that he would ask questions. So he was talking to him. He said, have you ever tried to know what is Para, what is Supreme? He says, no. Then what is the use of knowledge? He compares this type of Pandits who do not pay attention to Paravidya, only Aparavidya they are concentrated. He says, they are like those eagles flying on the very high top on the sky, but their eyes are focused on the dead rats. Where I can get a dead rat. So it is like that. So he criticizes that. The knowledge or the study that we make of these sciences, etc., are short of that Paravidya. So this Kali represents Para. She is considered as a Paravidya. But then she has got lot of aparas altogether surrounded by her. Sometimes we just wonder, what is this Kali? Why the Kali is depicted like that? Because she is time. So one boy came to me in Durban when I was there. So today I am happy, 2 devotees from Durban are sitting here. They are the parents of one of our monk in Mysore. So that boy came to me in Durban and started telling me that, what is this? I don't understand why you all do worship of Kali. I said, well, why not? She is Mother Kali. From her, the whole universe has come. Srishti Sthiti Vinashanam Shakti Bhute Sanatani. So why not we worship Mother Kali? She is the origin of this universe. She is the Kali, Kala, time. From the time only everything comes. So he said, but she is very, very ferocious. And you should not worship this type of ferocious ladies who is blood hungry, he said. I was surprised. I said, is she blood hungry? Yes, she wants blood, blood, blood. You see her picture? She is drinking blood. In Devi Mahatmyam, you know the story of that Asura, that demon, who was coming up again and again. Even if you cut his neck, then the blood will fall onto that. So it's called Rakta Bija. The Rakta Bija. And what did Kali do at the time? Kali went and drank all the blood so that he cannot come again. If the blood falls on the ground only, he will come. If it is not allowed to fall, then if she drinks, then no more Rakta Bija. So that is the tactics she employed there. So Kali is bloodthirsty goddess. You should not worship. Like that he said. Then I explained to him, no, you are wrong. She wants that type of blood where your ego is there. What is blood? I asked him. Blood's color is red, we say. But when the blood falls on the ground, how difficult to remove the stain, do you know? If the blood falls on the cloths, how difficult it is to remove the stain? Even somewhere murder places, I have heard one of the very good doctor used to come to our ashram. In Singapore, I used to talk to him. He was a forensic expert. So I told him one day, this blood examination you do, what do you get? You go to a murder place and 10 days after you get information and police call you and you go and take some slides, etc. And then what do you understand? Already the blood is dried up and they put water and dried it up. What do you do? He said, no, nothing can dry blood stain. So even 1 month over in the car stains, we can find out where the blood is there. And we can find out what is the group of the man who killed or who was killed, etc. You see, such a difficult to remove the stain. Likewise, what is the difficult most thing in our mind that can be removed? The ego. So the ego is personified in the blood. The blood says, it signifies the ego. So it is very difficult to cut ego. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says, you cut the small plant that is growing up in a dilapidated building, and then after 10 days, another plant will come up. In the same place, another plant, that plant is grown, you find. It's like that. Ego is like that, like seed. It goes on sprouting again and again. That's why Ravana is depicted with 10 heads. 10 types of egos he had. Ego also has got different types, you see. So each type, each head was removed or severed by Sri Ram. Then another head came up in the same place. So Ram was tired removing the heads. So it is how wonderful, you see, our ancients, our rishis have brought all these ideas. Philosophically, if you go to Hinduism, you will find a lot of philosophies and you can read them. They are very intellectually very inspiring. But there are people who cannot approach this philosophy. If I talk to you for 10 minutes philosophy, you will get sleep. You all will go into sleep. So that's why we have to bring so many other things in our talks. Because philosophy is very difficult to digest. But if I tell you some stories, even the man who is bent upon listening to philosophy, he will also enjoy some stories. So stories are given, they are called Puranas. So if you go to Puranas, you will find how beautiful stories are put to us, only to make us understand the ultimate truth in philosophy. How do you express philosophy? You can express philosophy in two types of terms. One is you can express philosophy in philosophical terms. Only those who have studied philosophy, they will understand. If you go to a M.Com class in a college, the professor will be speaking about commerce subject, suppose. He will be speaking in the commercial terms he will be using, which the students will understand because they are all commerce students. Likewise, physics, chemistry. In every subject you will find in the higher classes, they will use those terms. They are not going to explain each term they are using in their class because those are all done in your lower classes, class 8, 10 and then 12, etc. Those things already explained. Concepts are already there. Only the term has to be used. So likewise in philosophy also, you can use philosophical terms to talk to philosophers. No problem. But when you go to ordinary public, who have not read all this philosophy, how do you take such grand ideas of our religion to them? So the Puranas came. Wonderful stories. Many stories you may not even like it, but there are hundreds of stories, millions of stories that you like it. You feel very happy to hear the Puranic stories. So Kali is depicted in the Puranas as a deity who is walking. You will find other deities like Lakshmi. She is seated on a Padma. See Saraswati. She is also seated on a rock. And look at other gods and goddesses. They are all seated. Only one female deity, which is Kali, is standing. Sometimes you see Lakshmi also standing on a lotus flower. But she is on a lotus flower, mind you. Very soft flower. But Kali is standing on a battlefield. Everywhere the heads are rolled, bloods are there, and in that Kali is standing and she is walking. So one foot is front, another foot is back. So she is walking. That's how she is kept there. So you can see Kali is walking. Why? Because she represents time with capital T. That time can never be stopped. Can you stop the time any time? No. You cannot stop. Suppose a small boy comes and tells, I won't study now. I will study later. I said, later you won't get time. Please study now. I say, he said, no, I will take 2 hours. Catch 2 hours. Put it in my pocket. And I will take the 2 hours later and study. Is it possible? No. You cannot take the time like that. You cannot stop the time. Time is viewed in a linear way by us as past, present and future. In fact, the time has got no past, no future. This past and future is always correlated to the times, the sun rising, we say it is now today, the day has come. Today is 30th. So now the sun has set, the night has come. What is night? Darkness. The sun light is not there. Light has gone, so it has become dark. And the darkness will go away when the sun comes up. So at that time light comes, then the darkness goes away. So at that time another day, we call it 31. So we mark it. It is our own mental conjecture of the time as the past or the future. Actually time is present. It is always present. You cannot see in a line. You have to see in the whole. That's why time is called infinite. And time makes even the Brahman come to a lower planes of our understanding. That's why in the Ramanamavali, we start with Shuddha Brahma Paratpara Ram. Who is Ram? Not the Dasharatha Putra. That comes in the 7th line only. Dasharatha names comes in the 6th line. Kaushalya names comes in the 7th line. First 5 lines, no mention of Dasharatha, no mention of Kaushalya. Shuddha Brahma Paratpara Ram. He is the supreme Brahman, Paratpara. Even transcendent than what you think of transcendent. That transcendent Brahman is Kalatmaka Parameshwara Ram. When he becomes Parameshwara, who is in charge of building up this creation, sustenance and destruction, Parameshwara does that. How does he do? Kalatmaka. When he is joined with Kala, time, then he becomes, that Shuddha Brahman becomes Parameshwara. So Kali is in that stage. Parameshwari we call her. Parameshwari is a beautiful term. You use the term Parameshwari because she is supreme, Ishwari. She is the creator, she is the sustainer, and she is the dissolver of this universe. So this Kali, that time cannot be controlled by you. You cannot grasp time in your hands. So this has got no physical existence. So time runs. So since she is in a running mode, we always say time has run. You do not know. And so Kali is shown as always 1 foot up. She is ready to run. So how wonderful meaning you see. Because time. And the time, can you enclose the time? As I said, can you enclose it and put it in your pocket? No. You cannot enclose her with any type of cloth. So Kali is depicted as Digambari, as another word. Oh, some people say, what a uncivilized your forefathers were to think of a woman, naked woman, to stand like that. So they criticize us. And they do not understand the philosophy. The time has got no enclosure, no coverings. And that's why Kali is Digambari. The eight disha, directions, are her cloth. So how do you cover the directions? Can you cover the east? Can you cover the west? All the 4 directions can you cover? You can cover only objects that was created by her, but herself you cannot cover. So she is called Digambari. And another thing, in Kali you will find, she has put on her tongue out. That is also very, some people are bewildered. Why Mother Kali is depicted with tongue out? The tongue out is somewhat considered as not very civilized way of looking at. In public places, etc., when you are there, in a party or anywhere, you cannot go and stand and show your tongue. Even while eating, you put the things in such a way in your mouth. You are not putting like that and then putting things inside. You are very delicate way you open your mouth. If that is the system, and in a civilized society, how you will open your mouth and show your tongue out? That is very terrible thing. So what she is doing, is she going to eat something? Before eating, our tongue automatically comes out. Is it not? Once one devotee was driving a car. Next to him I was sitting. One place called Glencoe. So he was driving me through the Glencoe town. Before reaching the Glencoe town, I saw many buildings were deserted. They are all dilapidated. They were all once upon a time very busy towns of Indian population. They were all mining towns, coal mines. And now coal mines is not done, so they are all neglected and nobody is staying in those towns, all deserted. And the buildings are all about to fall like that, dilapidated. So I asked that devotee, what has happened to these buildings? He simply smilingly said to me, time has eaten away, he said. Oh, what a beautiful expression. Time eats away. So if a building remains unused for some time, what's happened? Eats away. So Kali eats everything. She is in Smashana and she eats everything. What does that mean? That time eats everything. If you want to show that time eats everything, you have to put in Puranas, you have to put some stories. So you make a Kali and then Kali puts her tongue out. She is ready to eat. When snakes eat, you must know, you must have seen in Discovery Channel. And the snake takes out its tongue and something is flying and it comes and sticks to the tongue and immediately it takes inside. That's what does Kali. She eats everything in this universe. Nothing is left, mind you. No object of creation is left. Whatever is created must collapse, Swami Vivekananda says. Anything that is compound must disperse. This creation is made of compound. Pancha Bhuta. Pancha Bhuta compound is what made. We are made, animals are made, trees are made, mountains are made. Everything in this universe is made of combination of the Pancha Bhutas. 5 elements. Primordial elements they are called. So when the 5 elements are used for creation, they must disintegrate. That is what science says. Any compound must disintegrate. A compound cannot remain compound forever. So, Mother Kali's universe, whatever is created must get dissolved. I don't like to use the word destruction also. Creation, sustenance, dissolution is the word, better word I feel. Because in dissolution, the item disappears, but it disappears into something. In destruction, suppose I take this glass and throw it on the ground, the glass becomes pieces. So it is destroyed. That is called destruction. But in Mother Kali, at the end of Pralaya, what she does? she eats away everything. Means everything is dissolved into the primordial source of Shakti. From Shakti, everything has emanated, everything has come up, everything has sprung. And to that source, we all must go one day. And that is called destruction or vinasha. That is why the word, Sanskrit word, it's a very beautiful word. They don't use nasha. Nasha means destruction. Keep in mind. Vinasha means Visesha Nasha. What is that Visesha or the special Nasha? The special Nasha is dissolution. Taking the object into yourself. Sri Ramakrishna's experience, you know that he was coming one day from after finishing his bath, etc., he was coming, walking on the road in the Dakshineswar temple. On the road, suddenly he saw a small baby was standing. Suddenly the baby grew into a child. And the child became a very beautiful girl. And then he finds, suddenly she is seen as a pregnant. And suddenly she delivers the baby. And once the baby is delivered, she takes it and eats it away and disappeared. So Sri Ramakrishna says, Mother Kali showed me creation, sustenance and dissolution. All the three at one go, she showed me. You see? So destruction, don't think, death is not destruction, mind you. People sometimes cannot come out of death, death feeling. Oh, somebody is dead, my father is dead, my mother is dead, my child is dead, like that. We feel very bad. And you cannot come out of that feeling of sadness. No, death has got nothing. It is not dissolution. It is only a stage for rebirth. It has made you fit for rebirth. That's why the death has come. So you are going to get another birth. So the law of karma goes on like that. There are many concepts are there regarding birth and death. If we have time, then we'll talk about that. So this value of the Kali, how wonderful it is. The idea, the deity itself is so wonderful. And there are so many aspects of Mother Kali that one can go on telling about each and everything, but it's all so great, I tell you. That's why we read in some of the items, some of the significance of Mother Kali is given in the Puranas in a very subtle form, subtle way. So when you read Devi, say the Durga Saptashati, or what you call Chandi, Devi Mahatmyam, you will find the story goes, but along with the story, in one sloka, suddenly the philosophy is introduced. And that philosophy is that central point, mind you. The story is only to express that philosophy in a story form so that we can understand. So how beautiful these stories are there. So the play of light and shadow continues. So we get tired in our life, worldly life. Then mind start asking, what is the way to get out of this darkness? Where I will find light? So you go, search is going on. Then Guru comes. What the Guru does? Ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshur unmilitam yena tasmai sri gurave namaha. We bow down to that Guru. Who does? He takes an ointment and puts on our eyes. Our eyes, what is that eyes? It is blind. It cannot see. Andaha. So the Rishi says, Andha. What type of Andha? Timiranda. Complete darkness. Timir means darkness. Darkness means utter darkness, we say. That is called Timir. That Timir, utter darkness, utter black. And that Timir, Ajnana. What is the Timir? What is the darkness? It is not a physical darkness where the sunlight is not there. No. It is Ajnana Timirandasya. Ajnana means this not having knowledge. The not knowledge of God, of Para, Param. So that is called Ajnana. So how this Ajnana Timir will go off, can be removed? So you require a guru. And what does guru says? Guru comes and he puts an ointment on your eyes. You open after getting the ointment and you got enough power of vision is there. Like ointment. If you go to an ophthalmologist, what he does? He puts an ointment. And then only you can see clearly, you see, your eye. And you can also see better. That's why he will check your eyes, how much point you can read. He will check it after the drop is put in your eye. It makes the eye, physical eye, clear. But mental eye, which is completely blind, how you can remove that blindness? So he comes, Jnananjana Shalakaya. So the Rishi says, Jnananjana Shalakaya means by an instrument, by a brush, by an instrument. So a surgeon uses instruments. So he uses an instrument, and that shalaka means instrument. It is used in surgeries. So that shalaka, he takes it and he paints anjana. And what is that anjana? What is that painting he does? Ointment he puts it, and that is jnananjana, with jnana. So when ajnana timir is there, however is there, Swami Vivekananda very nicely puts it for the youth. He says, 1,000 years one room was locked and full of darkness, utter darkness was there. And if you go to that room and light a matchstick, immediately that deepa, the light comes from the matchstick. Then he is putting a question to the youth. Do you think that 1,000 years of darkness staying there will take another 1,000 years to go away? No. The darkness goes away instantly. When you put on the light, the darkness is gone. So Swami Vivekananda says this. So you can understand, Ajnana Timir, it is become utter darkness. It is stored for so many years, but that goes away the moment Jnananjana comes on your eyes. That is given by a guru. And that guru stays in your own heart. In Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, Sri Krishna says, Tesham eva anukampartham. What a beautiful word he uses, you see. In Gita, one word you can take and you can go on talking 1 hour for that. Each word. Anukampartham, he says. Those devotees who think of me all the time, to them I don't provide kripa. I give them anukampa, he says. Anukampa means extraordinary way of providing grace. That anukampa, and for that providing that grace, what I do, I remove ajnanajam tamaha. This ajnana, this was born out of tamas, this guna, tamasic guna, this ajnana was born from tamas. You know, rajas, sattva, tamas, etc. From tamas guna, this ajnana was born. So this ajnana, I sit in that man's heart. Atma bhavaha. He says, Atma bhavastaha. I stay in the heart of that bhakta. And then, jnana deepena bhasvata. He says, I put that jnana deepa. That's why Diwali is very important for us. While lighting the lamp, you must always think, let this lamp lighted now. Light my inner heart, which is covered by darkness. Let this lamp that I lighted outside represent the jnana, so that my heart is now taken, is purified, and it is lighted up. That's how we have to think. Sri Krishna himself says, I stay in the heart of the devotee and I bring the jnana deepa into his heart. And then his ajnana, which is born out of tamas, that ajnana timir, goes away. What a beautiful way, the play of shadow and light, the play of darkness and light is very, very important for us to understand for our spiritual life. Many times we hear these things while just passing away. But in the passing way, if you listen to that, it may not stand. So when our dharma Vartanandaji asked me, what is the topic Maharaj will speak? I said, okay, Diwali is just now gone, so let me speak about Diwali. So Diwali signifies this. Jnana Deepa is our idea of Deepavali. That is the top Vedantic philosophical conclusion. Now you can have many types of stories, etc., to tell these ordinary masses. Yes, as per the mind. However, whatever level you have grown up, you can catch that. So different stages of telling the story is there in our tradition. That is it. Some people see drama and learn. Some people see cinema and learn. Some people hear some songs and learn. So different strata of intellectual ability is there among the humanity. So accordingly, let them learn. But the highest truth is Jnana Deepa is the highest truth for which Diwali stands for. So with these few words, thank you for listening to me in person and online, to every one of you. May the Lord bless all of you. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Rama Krishnarpanamastu.